Good evening. My name is Guru. In this session, I will explain the concept of what is different types of data types we have in the Python and where we can able to apply these type of concepts. So basically, we have data types like numeric and sequence type and Boolean, set. This is the basic data types we have: numeric, sequence, Boolean, set. So the sequence, we have different data type like string, list, tuple, and the set is separate data type, and we can also have the concept of dictionary. So the numeric data type, we have like integer values and float values and also the complex numbers. So this is a basic data type we have. On numerical side, we have integer, float, and complex. Where the sequence type we have string, list, tuple, and Boolean is one different data type, and set and dictionary of the different types. I will explain one by one what are the concepts of these data types and how they will work in the Python and how to use them generally. Let's take for example the integer data type. The purpose of this data type is to store a number which is a negative number or the positive number which doesn't have the decimal points. Any number, just like -10, -12, 12, 13, 18, what are the number we have? The number might have the negative number or the positive number, there is no problem. Those kind of numbers we want to store, we can use the data type that is called the integer, which comes under the numeric category. So examples for this data type is, for example, say 10, 45, or -12, -44, etc. These are called examples for the integer type of data storage. And come to the point of float. It is a data type where we can able to store the data in the form of decimal numbers also. So in the integer, we can store any number which is a natural number, just like a natural numbers, either positive or negative. You can take any number, either the positive number or negative number. Comes to the point of float. This is a number. So numbers can have decimal points also. Decimal points also. It doesn't mean that they do everything, everyone has the decimal points. Some numbers may have the normal numbers also. So in that, nothing but we can able to apply just like a natural numbers where like integers. The same way we can also apply the concept of decimal numbers. Some examples are 14, 12, 23.55, like this one, 1.2. This can also positive numbers or the negative numbers. We can also use the negative numbers and positive numbers also here. So these type of numbers we can call as a floating numbers. So, but in the case of floating numbers, you can also use any number just like a integer values. Like this can also be possible, no problem. We can use either integer values or the decimal point, no issue. Next, the third one is the complex numbers. In this complex number category, in the complex numbers category, what we are the part of the purpose of basic purpose of the complex numbers is it is the form of, it is a combination of a integer value along with an imaginary value. So take an example. If you say 1 plus 2i or 2 plus 4j for 5j, these kind of numbers we can call it the complex numbers. So which is the concept of integer point of view and also so this is called the combination of relational and this one, natural numbers and also the complex number, real numbers and imaginary numbers. So we can call as this as the real numbers. These are called the real numbers. Real numbers along with an imaginary values also, imaginary numbers. So this is the basic data type in the concept of numerical. So we as we understand that he clearly the number data types and numerical data types contains of integers, float, and complex numbers. So the basic three data types we have here. Come to the point of the next one is the sequence data type. Sequence. So what is the concept of the sequence data type? Sequence is nothing but storing in a continuous location, simply say. So when you want to store the data, you can store generally data in the single value only. For example, if you say a equal to 10 or a equal to 10 here, I can store only one value at a time in the variable a. If you want to store more than one value, it cannot be allowed. So in this case, what we have to do is we can use the concept of a sequence data type. For the purpose of sequence data type here, this type of data types, this allows to store more than one value with same variable, same sequence type, sequence data type. Take an example here. I will say we already discussed the concept that we have the concept the list is one example and the tuple is one example. The basic two example we are already discussed here, and string also we have here. String is one more example. The string listed tuples are the three examples for the sequence data types. So what is the concept of sequence? Nothing but the values are stored in the continuous locations. Take an example here. If you say here name equal to some, I will say John. So what you understand here is John is a string. So how can it be a string? The string is nothing but the more than one characters. So if you have where you have the more than one character, we can call as a string. So this string will be stored in which one? The name. So when you store John in name, how it will store is nothing but it is divided into number of parts. See example, if I say here the name, how the name will be stored here is, I will show here in the pictorial form also. So I'll take one example here. I will create like this. This is here John. So I will create like this here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now when I see this one, I can able to store different values at different places here. So I will say here, J will be stored here. J will be stored here. Next one, O will be stored here. And H will be stored here. And N will be stored here. So JOHN. So they will store like this one. Now I can say everything will have index numbers here. Concept is index numbers. So I can do this one here. I will say the index numbers are 0, 1, 2, and 3. So now I can say the 0, the J is stored at the location 0, O is stored at the location 1, and H at the stored location 2, and N is the stored location 3. So this is the form of storing the data. So whenever you store any data, the data will be stored in the form of this category. So if you take, for example, if I take one more example, like anything, if I take here, so for example, place equal to Hyderabad. So in this case, what will happen? H will be stored in the 0 location, Y in first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth. So this is a concept of a sequence data type. So when you see this, what we can observe, there is no gap here. See, after the J, O will be stored, and after the O, H will be stored, and H after the H, N will be stored. So there is no chance of giving the gap between this one character to the another character. So this type of is called sequence, means it is and it is arranged in character by character in the next locations only. So okay, this is the example for which one? The string data type. So in this string, what we can store only the numerical values or the, sorry, we can use the character store values, or sometimes we can use the numerical values and the special characters also. For example, I will say here the mail ID is one type of data here. I say for example here like this. When you see this one, what we can understand is that this is the string, right? This is the special character, and this is the special character, and again the string. So we can use a combination of characters as well as the numbers and also the special characters also to store any data in the form of string. And come to the point of list. What is the list here? The concept here. The list is also one of the sequence data type. And then what is the difference between the list and the string here is list allow us to store any type of data, any type of data. So we can also store combination of data. So there are two possibilities, sir. We can store any type of data combination. For example, I will give some here the mass marks. As an example, I take mass marks. So here I will take 10, 11.5, 11.5, 12, 9. This example I have. So when I see this one, I can able to store more than one value in the same name with the same name mass marks. Now I can say the mass marks is one list that can store more than one value. When you see this one, we have integer values as well as the floating values. So decimal numbers we have integer. The same way we can store any type of data in the same place. I can store one integer, one float, one character, one string also. See, for example, say here student data is one student data. If we take one more example here, I can take this 1001 is a hall ticket number like this one. I will say here the size, the name, and I can say the course, for example, say MCA like this one, and we can able to say this number. So what we can understand now, this data we have here, integer values and also the character values. Likewise, you can able to store any kind of values. So how the lists are represented? Lists are represented, list elements represent within square brackets. They are called the square brackets. Within the square brackets. They represent within the square brackets. So what we can understand now, we can store the similar type of data and also we can dissimilar type of data. Any type of we can store. We can able to store Boolean also we can able to store. Right? I come to the point, the next one is a tuple, is one more sequence data type where we can able to store the data of same type or different types also. So here we can when you see this one tuple works same as a list, same as a list, except same as a list, except what the problem here is the representation. One is the representation and accessing. These two things we have to remember are different. So how they are different? The representation is within parentheses. We can call as these are called parentheses. And next one is accessing means we cannot change the values of a tuple. Take an example here. We'll say here scores. I will say the scores. Some data here. Tuple is representing the parenthesis values. I said 10, 20, 11, some 25, what 23, what I missed. When I see this one, I can say the 10 is stored at the location number 0, 20 at the location number 1, and 11 is the location number 2, and 23 is the location number 3. So 10, 20, 11, 23. So your question is what we have to look at is, so why it is why it can't able to change its value? Because a tuple is a tuple is immutable. What is the immutable? Means we cannot change the tuple values. We cannot change the tuple values. So once you define the tuple, we can able to access, but it cannot possible to change its value. There's a problem with the tuple. Okay, the representation is different, where it's list with the square brackets with the tuple with the parenthesis. And accessing we can do in the same way, index number concepts, 0 to n minus 1. Where in the case of extending the values or modifying the values, list will allow to change the values, the tuple will not allow to change the values, right? And these are the different one here. And now we'll move to the next data type, which is called the Boolean. Right? So what the Boolean data type here? It is used to store. It is used to store. Which type of data we can able to store here is we can store either true or false. We can store either true or false with the help of the Boolean data types. So when we can use, we want to know status, the application status is accepted or not accepted, or the condition is true or false, or anything that conditions. If you have only two options, specifically, they can use the concept is called the Boolean, that is called the true or false. And come to the point, the next data type is set. What is the set here? A set is also one of the linear data structure where we can store same type of values, same type of data, or different types of data. So it is represented within curly braces. Curly braces. It is represented with the curly braces. And elements separate by comma. Okay, take an example here. Say marks equal to, say here, curly braces, 10, 11, 12, and 10 again. So when you see this one, there is a list here. There is a set here. The set contains totally 4 elements. The first element is 10, 11, 12, 10. 10, 11, 12, 10. So this is called the one type of set. So in this we can follow the index number as usual, 0, 1, 2, 3. But what is the problem with the set as compared to the other data types is set is again the immutable. It is immutable. So means we cannot change values. And second thing, it is unordered. It is unordered. So there is no specific order. What is the means by unordered? For example, if you have list of 3 elements, it will display in a specific order, whatever the order we have given. If we add one more element, the new element will add at the end, right? In the tuple also it's the same way. When it comes to set, the order we can't give assurance that the same order will be in the available. For example, I take here the 10, 11, 12, 10. If I add one more element, again I have to display the marks again. I can't give assurance that the same sequence can be followed. For example, I say here the marks of what is the index number 0, 1, 2, 3. Again, if you say here for 4, if equal to 4 equal to some, if you say here 15. So what will happen? Generally, it should be added at the end. But when you try to print here marks again, we can't give assurance that means we can get output like this. How to like this means 10, 11, 12, and 10, and again 15. We can't give assurance of this output because there is a possibility of shuffling these elements also. So this is a problem with the concept of sets because they are unordered list. They are the unordered list. That's why we give the most preference for the list. Second way for the tuple, and we can use the string also, and otherwise next one is the boolean. So, but the problem with the string and string is also immutable, tuple is immutable, and set also the immutable concepts here. The concept to come to here. This is about the concept of sets, and now I will move to the concept of dictionary. Is the last one I think. So hopefully. So what is the concept of dictionary? The dictionary is nothing but one type of data structure where we can able to store the data in the linear data structure cases. For example, we can store a data of same type or different type. Different type. Same type or different types. The data can be stored in the form of key value pair. Key value pair. So means every value in the dictionary will have its key. Why we need to have the key? Because if you want to access the element in the list, we can use the index number. If you want to access the element in the tuple, we use the index number. For keys, we have the index number. String, we have the index number. But in the case of dictionary, we don't have the concept of index numbers. In place of index number, we are using the new concept called the key. So if you want to access any elements in the list can be accessed with the help of keys. With the help of keys. So if we don't have the keys, we can't able to. For example, if we say here student, I have one dictionary here, and moreover, dictionaries is represented within curly braces. So, like I said, but the difference is that there is no keys. We have the keys and also the values. I will say here the H number, it means the hall ticket number, the colon value followed by and its value. So and next way I say a name, this I say here Sai and comma, and I say again here course, say here MCA. So when you see this one, what we can understand, the student is one dictionary. It contains three key value pairs. This is one key value pair, this is a second key value pair, and this is a third key value pair. So here when you see clearly, the keys are always within the single quotes because they are represented as strings itself. And the integers as usual in the normal way, where you can see again when the names are any quotes or any addresses, we have to mention the single quotes or double quotes. The keys are any data of the string type, we can have to represent the single quotes or double quotes. But the numerical data, as usual, we can in the normal way. Okay. So if you want to access any element of the string, for example, I would like to access the name. How can you display the name here? I have say here print. What are the dictionary name student? And here you have to mention the key name. When you mention like this one, what is the output should be? Output is side. So how? Because The elements in the dictionary can be accessed only with the help of these keys. So, sir, for example, if you would like to modify the elements, how can you modify? Use the same method, the same concept of keys only. For example, I will say here the student of H number, just like I will say here, uh, equal to 1007 or 5. So what will happen here? Here the hall ticket number, see here the H number key is already available, right? The H number key is already available. That's why if the key is already available, this value will be replaced. This value will be replaced with the new value. Sir, what will happen? The key is not available. For example, I will say here student of uh, for example section equal to AML. So in this case, this key is not available already. So whenever the key is not available, what will happen? This will be added simply. This will be added. Okay. So what is the advantage here? If the element is already available, the key is already available, the value will be updated. The key is not already available, what will happen? The value will be added as a new element. The value will be added as a new The value will be added as a new element. This is the concept are called dictionaries. So I will come again. Concept. This concept is purely a topic about the concept of various data types in Python. Various data types in Python. Basically, we have numerical data types, sequence data type, Boolean, set, and dictionary data types. The numerical side, we have the integer, float, and complex. The integer, we can able to use any natural numbers, either negative number or positive numbers. Floating type, we can use any natural numbers with the decimal points, either the positive or the negative. The complex number is the concept to the combination of real and imaginary numbers, like 2 plus 4j or 3 plus 4i, like this one. And the sequence type, we have different types like list, tuple, and set. Sorry, string. What is string? Is nothing but string is a collection of characters. More than one character called string. The string we can able to identify each character with the help of the index number. The index number is always start from 0 to end with n minus 1. So we can able to use in the string either you can use the complete the characters, either capital letters or the small letters. We can also use the special characters and also use the numerical values also. Come to the point of the list. List is one of the linear data structure where we can able to store the elements in the consequent memory locations. Can be once one location by another location. It means if you store the first value at the 0 location, the second value must be stored at the 1, third, 2, and 4, etc. And it is immutable, means we can able to change the values of the list whenever we require. So we can able to add, we can able to modify, we can able to delete the elements of the list. That can be possible. The concept next one is the tuple. The tuple is nothing but is one type of linear data structure where we can able to store such as same data type values or the different data types values, and it is represented with the parenthesis value, represented with the parenthesis, and we cannot change the values because it is immutable. It is immutable. Immutables we cannot able to change the values. The Boolean come to the point we can able to store either 0 or false. For example, if you say here status, application status, if you say example, application status is the one value or the variable, so I can able to say the true. Because the true means that the application is already ready to accept. The application is ready to accept. That's the meaning of the right. And set where we can able to store the same type of data or dissimilar type of data in the sets also. And here the set point of view, same type or the dissimilar type that we can able to store, and it is represented with the curly braces actually, where the list is with the square brackets and parameter is called the tuple is with the parenthesis, whereas the set is with the curly braces, and the elements are separated with the commas. So this example for the set, and moreover the set is an unordered list. So it means whenever you add new element, we can't give assurance that the order will be the same order again. The possibility of changing the values. And moreover, we can't able to change the values in the sets easily. It is immutable. So what is a dictionary then? The dictionary is nothing but one type of linear data structure. It is represented like a set with the curly braces, but the change is the storage of values. Generally, the set will contains the numbers only, the values only. But in case of dictionary, we have key and its value. It's key value pay. So what the key and where the value? The key is nothing but the identification. That's like index number. And value can be the anything. Here the key is not a numerical number. You can use the numerical numbers. You can use the any characters. You can able the string. Whatever you want, you can use. So we can't give assurance the keys are always have the numerical numbers or always have the characters or anything. We can use the numerical values or we can use the character values. In the same way, the values also can be anything. You can use either numerical values or the character values, right? For example, I will say, take an example here. I will say here, marks is one of the dictionary. Let us an example of the marks here. So I will say here 1001, 45, 1004, 56. What is the meaning of this one here? Here 1001 is the key and 45 is its value. 1004 is the key and 56 is the value. So here we can understand clearly the keys can be any type. There is no any specific how would you give only the characters, or we can able to give the string like this one. There is no restriction. If you want to give the character, you can give. If you want to give the string, we can give. If you want to give the numbers also, we can give. There is no problem. The same way, the values also can be anything here because you can. There is no specification that you have to give integer values only as the values. No restrictions are. The values can be of any type, and keys can also be of any type. There is no problem. The keys generally we can represent the strings, otherwise the characters. In this case, we can use the numbers also. So this is the concept here. This is the overall concept for the today class. With the concept of various data types in the dictionary. Sorry, various data types in Python. In next class, I will explain the concept of what is the concept of exception handling and what is the exception, what are the different types of exceptions, why the exception will be erased, and how to resolve the exception with the help of the different types of techniques. We can able to I will explain, and moreover I will try to share this video in my YouTube. My YouTube will, link also. I will share the links to you. If you want to as a status of mine, you can able to go through my WhatsApp status and you can able to download the link, which is the videos also. Okay. Thank you.